We are waiting for you to settle down. We are waiting for you to settle down. Somebody should sit in the front row here.
Easily.
Let's see those who are already here. Aaron, Boluwatife, Aaron Ilorin, Abdulaniyu Hafiz, Aaron Ilorin here. Abdulaniyu Hafiz, Abdulrazak Uhad, Abdulsalam Ibrahim, Adeza, Aisha, Adelola Aisha, Adeniyi David, Adeyemi Ayoyemi Wurala, Agboola Ibrahim.
He's not here yet, sir. On his way, but he's not here yet.
Ajiboye Mayokun. Bámidélé Olúwa. Bámidélé Ìyànolúwa. Durojaiye Boluwatife. Ẹ̀yẹ́yẹ̀. Ọ̀gẹ̀nẹ̀ Jẹ́jìrú. Fásikù David.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Gilbert Kenneth.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Bíkúnlé Tèmítọ́pẹ́.
He's not here, sir.
Idris Kamil.
He's not here.
Ichabelo Arúgbó Ìga.
Weeks.
Yeah. Malik Idris. Okay. Okongu Manuela. Okunoye Elijah. Oladimeji Favour Fortunatus.
Not here.
Olatunjo Elijah.
Not here.
Olaniyi Amos. Olayinka Priscilla. Lamide. Are you there? Let's pick up. Okay. Sahid Sherif Ajibola.
Not here.
Sambo Victoria Omolola.
No, here.
Yunusa Abdullahi Amir. Dada. Muhammad Ayotunde. Okay. Olorunsola Ikemi. You are there. Okay. I want to say that these are the people we are going to provide for lunch for today.
Sir, so people are still coming.
No. Look, there's no African time there. You are not emphasizing. Some were not here yesterday. And you know, I told you that we are entering a partnership with Marine Church Foundation. They will only be interested if we are serious. They want to, provide training for those who are going to train people here. And the Ilorin Church Academy is just reopening after a long time. So we take punctuality very seriously. It depends on how fast they arrive here. They're supposed to start the program at 10 o'clock according to the timetable. This is now 10:49. Okay, so I'm marked those already present. Now, what we want to do today is to know where you are at the moment. What challenges are you facing in your training? Is it in the opening? Is it in the middle game? Is it in the end game? Do you have a problem with tactics? Stress strategy is even more complex than tactics. Yesterday, I mentioned 5 key areas you have to focus on. Development in the openings. Move your pieces into strategic positions in the openings. King safety. Make sure you cancel as soon as possible. Then, watch your pawn structure. The one item I didn't mention yesterday was the importance of what do you call it? Acquiring materials. Because once you get a room for somebody, or a bishop, or a knight, at grandmaster level, I mean, the person will just resign. It's only when you are playing an amateur you still hope that this person will make a blunder. So, where are you in your chess history? We are going to start with the people we have nominated as the resource person. Tell them that they will tell us what has helped them in their chess development. What area does he finding difficult? Are you possible tell us when did you start playing chess? What has been your story? What has been your challenges? So this will help us to know where you are and how you can be helped. Then I told them yesterday that when you start coaching people, you will see an improvement in your own development. When I was in secondary school, I was very good in mathematics, and that was because I was also teaching other people. When I solve problems for other people, then I become better in mathematics myself. The same way, the same thing goes with chess. You was given the book yesterday, how to play better chess. So you are going to give us a review of that book and also the curriculum. So that's at the end of the story. You have about 15 minutes in your presentation when you are called up. Anybody who is also called up, we present for 15 minutes. So in the afternoon after lunch, you are going to play real games. So it will be recorded. And so you find out where you made a blunder and what was your thinking process when you made this move. This is how to improve in chess. So let's call up Durojaiye Boluwatife to give his presentation. Let's give him a round of applause.
Good morning, everybody. It's nice to see our faces, and thank you very much to of my professor for his wonderful session and introduction. So, like you mentioned, my name is Boluwatife Durojaiye. I think I know pretty much everybody, apart from one or two people here. So it's nice to see familiar faces around and at the academy. And I'm quite happy because I've been a long time, member of the academy. So it's very nice to see us in more numbers. So hopefully we see more of our faces. And I think I should start with my chess story. So when Paul mentioned we were talking about that, dig deep, and then I remember that I wrote about my story that was 2 months ago because somebody was asking for tips about what I did to how to reflect on what I have done. So I've not really accomplished much because there's still so many things you can do as a chess player, and the ultimate of which is to become a grandmaster. So I'm still, working my way all the way. So I started chess in 2019 June, and when I started, I was clueless. A friend, one of my underlevel friends, then a lady, taught me how to play. So then I think I learned it in front of if you are in if you're a student in the rest of the world, you will know the student affairs. So then we used to have these political boards. And then she taught me how I think she taught me how the knights move. That was in 2019 then. So I picked up and I lost pretty much my first. I was always listening to her. And then it felt like she was the height of what to beat because I didn't really know anything about the game. So I wanted to beat her. And that led to the development and interest in the game. So um, I I think I spent about my first 3 months learning a lot. So I used a lot of online resources. So I played a lot of chess.com. And I remember then my first meeting. I'm not so sure you guys are everyone as low as that. I was like 250 hello then in in 2019, but after like 3 months of learning, so I took a lot of video courses and YouTube resources. So I think I went from 300 to like 900 in like the first 3 or 4 months. So my first major seriousness came in 2020, and that was when I started like playing a bit more actively. So then I found out that there was a club, an active club, which was the Ilorin Chess Club. Not really active in a sense, but at least they come together and play. So I started playing. So then I went to the likes of Alex. Those that are in Ilorin might know, some might not know. Alex, Matioji, and a number of people. So they were the one that like introduced me into competitive play. So I played my first tournament then in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. So 1 or 2 years of constantly playing and coming around, I think I improved. Then as of November 2023, I remember that then I was like 2002. I reached my peak rapid rating then on VHS. That was 2142. So that was when I like okay, I'm like I wanted to try and see if I can get stronger. So it was a case of learning and always wanting to improve. But then came 2 years after that, in November 2023, I no actually in December 2023, I registered for my first period of tournament. Before that, I did like I think about 2 tournaments in on campus. So I did awfully. I think one of them I was the Luga selection tournament. So I played that. I was like six or something like that out of I think 10 players. So it was not really a great outing. Then after that, I did another one. I think I was like 12th or so. Then December 2023, I played my first video rated tournament. I think I played like 3 tournaments that were not video rated before that. And I played it in this zone. So then I played I think my first tournament I played 4 of 7. I remember then because I was then lost. I played an English. I can remember the game, so I played the setup with I can't remember if I was white or black, but I remember I played the setup with the knights on E7 and one of the three. The knights were literally looking at each other. So I was losing, like totally losing against him, and I was finding I was struggling. But luckily for me, he had I think a piece. So now that I won my first, I think, tournament game against him, and I lost to Elijah Modi at that same tournament. And my first initial capability came out at 1600. So after the tournament, I realized that I had to like I mean I was 2000 LO upward online and coming to tournament chase I was struggling like I was getting 1500 so I thought 1500 should be win 2-1 and I was on it. So the IC came out then at I think 1630 or thereabout and I realized that okay I had to like work on improving. So luckily for me then I was very active in the Ilorin Chess Club, so that was one of my pivotal moments of taking chess more seriously. So I was the captain alongside Ayodeji Adeyemi. So then we were putting together tournaments because you have to play more to improve. So thanks to the Ilorin Chess Club, I was able to at least improve in regard of playing on the board because I was coming from learning in my room and trying to learn. So in February 2024, that was where I hit the first big wall I hit or I could not like progress. I was stuck at 2-1. I could not like break that wall. And then I think it was very bad because I even gave up. I was like, oh, at this point in time, I can't really, it was like, they are spending like 2 years at the same point. So I gave up and then I was also struggling with the fact that okay, I was in school. I had my, I think, was it my second year? I was in 400 level. So 400 level was a very hectic year for me then. I did not really manage. So then I came back on chess.com and somehow I found myself in 18, I think I noted it here. I was 1872 chess.com rapid. So after like a year of not really taking chess a bit seriously. So that was February 2024. Then I was trying to like come back at least. I mean I had done 2-1, so I should be able to come back to that level, but it was a whole lot of work. So what I did there was I realized that I was really not losing because of my knowledge. I was losing because I was having blind spots. So I started like working on my calculation. So I actively started doing puzzles, and that was my first step. Because before then I was doing random YouTube videos, random learning. I would see a video, it look interesting, I'll watch it. So then I had like a structured plan that okay, I wanted to improve my calculation. I was hanging pieces. Even before that I was strong online, I would get to the board, I would say hang the piece. So I worked on my puzzles a lot then, and I think I did that quite like almost a year without even seeing any improvement. But I was so shocked about it that okay, I don't want to be hanging this again. So that was what I did for the entirety of 2024. I think at my best then. It wasn't as if my chest was getting any better, but I wanted to like just work on my tactics, not hanging peace. So 2024, I got to like my highest audio number, but I'll say it's audio because I think I was like 2.8 liches puzzle at my peak then. So then I came back to tournament thinking that okay, I've already solved calculation problem and I should not be hanging piece as much. And my first tournament, or the tournament I played after that was one of the monthly tournaments here. I played, I think, the game I remember then that was very frustrating because then also one of the issues I had was I was very emotional about the games because I kind of like felt like I've already done the work and I should be winning. But I will come to tournament and then they will still beat me black and blue. At best, I will be like top three. So then I came to one of the academy events. I lost to Mr. Emmanuel Imua, and the game was quite painful because I was winning. I was like up to 2 points, and somehow I remember the game vividly because it was almost inside past lead. I was up to 2 points. I knew I was winning. I had 4 minutes. He had like 10 minutes. Somehow the attack started. Somehow my king died that. Somehow I had to resign. Then it was very humbling, and then I was like, ah, I thought I already, like, I already like worked on my zone, and I was still struggling. So then I realized that okay, obviously there's still more work. So I now like went home and then I sat down, and I realized that my issue was not that I did not really have the strength. I did not really have, the tournament experience in a sense because the game, if it was like from comfort of my room, I would probably have won that game, or if it was like maybe an online game, I would have won it. But on the board, I was so anxious that I started like playing objectively bad balls. So then I went back, like there's always 1 month, it was monthly tournament. So I went back for like 1 month. I think I missed one of the months then because I felt like okay, let me fix the issue I noted. So then I started playing bullets because I realized that okay, I was always losing on time. That was another issue I had because I was a deep thinker because most of my games were calculation based. So I started playing bullets and that was the worst mistake I could have made. Because when I came back, the next tournament after that was the Kwara State Peace Tournament. I won only 2 games out of 7. Like I think Kenneth win that tournament. Kenneth, I don't remember that tournament. I won was it Kenneth or Hafiz? Yeah, it was one of these Kwara State tournament at stadium. I won 2 games out of 7. And from like okay, my best result for that was like I came third in no okay, I came third like twice, even with the fact that I was struggling. I knew I was struggling, but somehow I was sure managed to beat an unrated, squeeze myself into podium and win cash prize and go home happy. And I was just like okay, let me go back home and fix up these issues. But that loss was very humbling. So after the let me just after the tournament, I realized that um, bullet was not the way because I thought my time travel was my problem. But I got better at bullets. I got to I think two bullets. I was thinking I should be doing well in for this tournament. I mean, I'm bullets. This tournament I should be beating everybody.
Alright, Mr. Arano, because I still going to ask you a question.
So I heard that I have to like go back and sit down and do something a bit different. So I went back and then I started doing game studies, and I think for me that was how I finally like broke the wall of not improving. So I spent the next couple of months just studying games. Like I was not playing as much, but I was doing a lot of studying and just reading up and I got a book then from Paul, Magnus Carlsen fighting chess and some guy Kasparov. So I went through the games like a lot, and that was the channel I did from that period. To, I'm still on that, and I think for me that was like the most crucial period because I finally broke war. At my best, I was like comfortably 2-3. I mean, 2-3 online, and recently I was even at Lagos. I played, I believe, the best players in the country, and I didn't do as well as I would have hoped, but I mean, I had my own. So I just realized that it's a continuous search, and for me, my current problem at the moment, I know that already is my end game. I've not really done a dedicated end game study. Most of the end game knowledge I have are from random videos and things I picked. And apart from the end game aspect, my calculation has also gone down a bit. Like I don't really try my complications as much as I used to because before that was my strength. But you know, when you start working at something, you progress. So yeah, I think that's just my human story. And right now, I also lettered it in the Google form. My point issue now is I don't want to say opening theory because I don't think I really need so much of open theory. It's very good to know a lot of things about the opening. But for me personally, my end game and my calculation are my biggest weakness, and I hope to work on them and in the long run also expand my opening, like my opening repertoire. It's quite bad to the point that if you ask me what maybe a variation of Sicilian is, I probably don't know. So that's how much opening I've neglected, and I have been doing a lot of studying games for the sake of studying games, but the theoretical aspects and that's why my ending is also lacking. I've not really done so much work. So I hope I get to do more work in that regard. And to the book review, I think it's a very nice book. I found the writing to be very simplistic, and I say that in a very good way. Because generally, when I read other chess books, I kind of like struggle to read them. The words are like quite intense, but this is written in like simple words that even if you don't know anything about the game, you can read it, you can understand, and yeah, like it was highlighted about 31 core chess principles you should know. So I think I could observe about, I'm not yet done. I think I got all the way to page 200 or something, but I started a bit later than I should have. But I found like, those principles to be like, I mean, I knew most of them either through videos or whatnot, but to see them like structured is something that I would have likely appreciated when I was starting out because it took me several years of learning from different sources, trying to like pick up these things and you don't know, I just somehow found it somewhere. But everything is highlighted and I was telling Idris yesterday that I think it's a book that somebody can read and all the principles will take you all the way to 1800 LO. That's how good the book is. Then the other thing I also wanted to mention, since it's like a review of sorts, the explanation that the examples that they were giving like the puzzles, I found them too simple. Not that I expected it to be hard because the beginner book, but I felt like it could have been more challenging. Like they were quite straightforward. That I do not think it was a book written for kids or adults. So I don't really know who the target audience is, but I would have to assume that it was written for the general audience. So if that's the case, then it's probably fine. But I just thought the examples given across the book was not really testing. I mean, they could maybe this and this example, the second example, then maybe the second one make it a bit more difficult. So those are like my own thoughts about it. Then the other thing I liked about it was the fact that across the book, the author Ladia Jirasek was giving very funny stories about his tournament experience. For example, one of the stories that I liked was when he went for one of these tournaments he played, he was from a series of winning tournaments, like he was in very good shape. And then he went for that tournament, then he lost woefully, And when it doesn't open, then I realized that I have what to do. Went back to go and start studying. And I found that quite relatable because I mean, it relates so well to my own personal story because I will do some work and I'll be like, I'm already there. I'll go to tournaments. They will like what this year and then I'll just go back home. So that's just essentially what I appreciate about it. Why it's a relatable book and you can relate to the content and the stories and that illustrates the book properly. So hopefully I've done a decent review about the book.
Okay, let's give a round of applause. My question is that how good are you in the opening? And what are your favorite openings?
Okay, okay, funny enough, I was asked the same question this morning. And the reason I was asked was I was talking about I want to go to we have a tournament to prepare for that's the Media Games. And one of my friends was mentioning that he wants to work on his own thing. And I think for me, thinking like the fastest or the easiest way to like work on a specific aspect of my chest. In the sense that like I'm not spectacular at any opening. My main opening is not even a conventional opening in the sense I play an opening the course Catalan.
Do you have any favorite openings?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
I can't really say my opening should have been Catalan, but I don't play the Catalan. In the sense that I'm playing like a lazy Catalan. So I've not really done extensive opening work. So like as white, I get to decide what I play. So I play D4 and so I know I'm white.
Okay.
I get to choose. So as black, what I just did is for E4, E5, I played the free dog.
Okay.
So I played also in Lagos, Mr. What's his name? One of the top players, I played against him and he told me in his own word, he said it was a bad field. That's not the best way to play it.
Now, these openings you are mentioning, they are not very popular as grandmaster in grandmaster games.
Yes.
Now, opening is very important. I showed you one game yesterday that I played with a goodness Kuge.
Yes, sir.
That I blundered on move 36.
Yes, sir.
I would have told you another one that I played at the Lancet Academy tournament 2020 and 2022 in November. The one we played at Boluwatife. My last game was with Abdulrasheed Ayuba. I was playing white. He was more than 1 hour late. I'd already made my move and the clock was running. But I was hoping that he would not come so that I would just win on this and win that point. At that minutes ago, he just showed up. I played E4 and he played a counter. That's a counter game. I took the pawn. He also took with the queen. Now at that time of the night, he didn't go where I wanted. I know that opening. He didn't go where I was expecting to go. He now went back. I wasn't familiar with that opening. I will show you after before you go, I will show you that one. That was I now made a blunder that made me to lose the game. Irrespective of the fact that I was already 1 hour with time ahead of him. So please pay attention to your openings. Why a wrong move in the opening can spell a doom for the rest of the game. So let's give me a round of applause again. Don't go yet, don't go yet. If there's anybody that wants to ask me a question, any question for me? Yes. Yes.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Boluwatife. I know you will know me, so. I also have a question. I wanted to ask Michelle. It's about how you evaluate position. Like, his position is a position, evaluation is very high. Like, how could you actually try to like? For instance, that I used to feel like using engine to evaluate position, and which is not. So, how do you do that? That's my question.
Okay, I think for the most part, there are some things you pick up from learning, and positional evaluation itself is structured. Like first question I ask myself in any position is, what's the material count saying? Like I'll first ask something, is anybody up for material? And if the answer is yes, if the answer is no, the material count in itself can tell you who is winning or not. But then you have to put the material count in context of what is happening on the position. Because material count is not valuable if the king is almost checkmated. So for the most part, it takes a level of calculation, like calculating and seeing that okay, is there any tactics, any locking tactics, any attack. So you can also look at like who is attacking who. You can also look at for example, what's the bond structure even saying? We can have equal material on the board for the black or the opponent like can't. So in that sense, that would like affect the positional evaluation. So for me, it's the fact that like I did a lot of puzzles. So for puzzles, one puzzle will like teach you is like how to subjectively evaluate position. Like you have to first like look at what's on the board. So now for the like us the one mistake a lot of people generally make is they tend to put material count like above positional count. So I feel like it's a combination of the positional things on the board and the tactical thing on the board. So you can be very good at like basic calculation, but if you don't really understand the core positional concept of the board, you will not really evaluate the position properly. So for me, it's based on okay, like you work on the calculation, get good at it, and then you just count what's happening on the board. Look at like okay, who has the space, who has the better ball structure, who's under attack. Let me give a context. I like recently I had a game against Capite. I gave a pawn. I gave him a pawn. He took the pawn. So after the game was asking me that oh, why did I give the pawn? And then I was telling him that he's objectively still equal. And he said it's not equal. And to me, I felt like okay, you would argue it's not equal, but then you taking the point, I already have the initiative. So to me, the initiative was more or is not like what you taking the point. But him being a materialistic person, or like he's a stronger player than me, but I won the game because of the point. Like he took the point, I had the advantage. So when I got home, he was arguing with me, and I can't really be arguing with the kind master. I evaluated the game, and the evaluation was minus 0.2. So it was black and was white. It was not a pawn. The engine is telling you minus 0.2. It's objectively equal. Even if the engine is saying okay, it's a slight decimal to black. What that minus 0.2 means is that okay, black has the initiative. But black has the material count, but white has the initiative. So I could make sense of the positional aspect of the chess, and he was leaning more towards the materialistic aspect of what's on board. And just the lapse in judgment between both players is what made me realize I can play for that form, but then it misjudged the position a bit. So that's just it's more of a thing of you have to always factor in the calculation and then the positional aspect of the game. So it comes with I don't know practice or experience.
Any other question for me? Okay.
All right, good morning. So, thanks for sharing your experience. I think I need a little bit about that really nice how far. What I wanted to ask two questions. The first one is, I remember when you were reading a lot of problems, and so
I can't get you.
okay.
Move closer to him.
I think I'm on you.
Yes.
Okay. I remember when you were like doing a lot of puzzles
Yes.
at the time. Is it still something you would encourage anyone to do today, like really get into a lot of puzzle solving? And where's the limit to that? And the second question is there any player that has really influenced you? Not really outside Nigeria, like within Nigeria, is there any player that has really influenced your study and your chess growth?
Puzzle is actually tactics, isn't it?
Okay, so let me just answer the question. Okay. So I think for the most part, when I say puzzles, I actually like generally classify puzzles into two. And there's more important tactics and there's more important calculation. So puzzles in general, people take puzzles and they think it's just one or two more combinations. That's also very good. I do that. So if you do puzzles on website like chess as an example, chess tests from experience, I don't know, like I don't know about now, but then when I used to play, I was very practical. So I thought there's more calculation, not really tactics. They are different. So you might, I don't know, they are just different. Just take it that they are different. And I can maybe give an example. Tactics is just 1, 2 combo. Like, reflection, desperado, calculation is like, 6, 7 moves deep, and then there might be like a positional move in between. So that's calculation. So you want to like practice it, and to be factual, there's really no limit in the sense that like I did it then it was structured. I on Jet.com and then I had like a 7 month streak of solving 5 puzzles a day. And then on Jet.com their rating was very inflated. Like I was at my best of like 3, 4 puzzle rating on Jet.com because their rating was not really accurate. But online Jet at my best I got to I can't remember the exact figure, 2, 8 or something. So there's really no limits. And for me, I stopped the center like I realized that my tactics and my calculation was very good, but my intuition, like I was spending so much time because at puzzles like there's really no time to solve it. On the board, you would need to like you have a limited amount of time. So I realized that okay, if I wanted to get better results on the board, I had to like work on my intuition, and that led me to like positional aspect of the game. So then you have to work on your calculation and position. And if I remember your second aspect of the question about the influence, I think for me, the person that influenced me a lot, there were several people that actually influenced me. For example, I mentioned who taught me how the pieces move, and she was she's my friend. So if not that okay, she brought me into the game, I don't think I will even be here in the first place. She plays casually, but she's like 800. Then she took me about 3 months before I beat her. But she was one of my biggest influence because she was quite passionate about the game. And because I wanted to beat her, I figured okay, it was like a competition of I wanted to be this person. And now I can easily beat her. But she was one of my biggest influence starting up. And along the line, I met the likes of Alex and Matthew. Matthew was a very big influence of it because then I was in the College of Health Sciences and he was around me. And I would say he was in the league of his own then because they felt like the strongest people I knew around me. So they were like something many people that realized that oh, the Nigerian space was even larger like then. I did not really know so much of it. Like I was just heard about I was just hear about them and they're like maybe they will be to me then there's like mythical people that I cannot even list or touch their shoes. So they were not really much of an influence to me. So but in my own personal space I had like digital age. There's an I am John Bartolome. You guys might not know him. He has like a YouTube channel, so I consume a lot of his resources. So I have some like the likes of Agarmato. Currently, I've been doing a lot of Agarmato. I've watched not less than 200 of his game, just game analysis, and since I started doing a lot of so it's more of an influence to me. Then recently, I think since last year, I've been he has a big influence on me because, for example, he made me realize that I have to work on my calculation because I started neglecting it for positional. But I realized that okay, I have to go back to the calculation. So for tournament and any tournament I'm preparing for now, I have to like make sure I have that cover before I go back. Then he also like help like tips about what the top players do also. So and finally I have Iboski. I don't know if I would say Professor Professor is a player, but he's a player in the sense that for me one of like the pivotal moments of my chess was when I started like working with the resources they provided there, which were the books. So he had like a very big like I think he had like the biggest influence in my play because I had to play from not being confident about my play to like being quite confident that I can beat anybody. So and yeah, those are like my influence generally, and I also have my interest club folks that are there, and maybe Idris also. So that's
Okay,
just
thank you, round of applause.